You let them come in at 10 o'clock. Okay, so. Oops. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Youth Employment Service webinar. My name is Mark Ashton. I'll be your host for the next hour and looking forward to engaging and sharing probably one of our most exciting projects that we have worked on over the last 12 months. I think it's been a really exciting time for YES. We've done some really interesting things and some interesting innovations across different sectors. And I think it's always nice to be able to have the opportunity to engage with our stakeholders, our implementation partners, our clients, and take the opportunity to be able to engage around what we are doing and where we're going in the future. I think one of those things that I really want to try and get across today, we've got a nice big audience that's RSVP'd for this session. I really do want to encourage two-way interaction. Please utilize the opportunity to use the chat facility, send us questions, question us about what we're doing, where we're going, and really make this an engaging session. Today, I'm joined by Rayan Cedris, who is from Sanlam. I'll allow her to introduce herself when we move into the panel discussion. And I think Sibusiso is quite familiar to a couple of you who have been involved in previous webinars and projects with the Youth Content Collective. I'm going to kick off with a very quick introduction to YES and maybe talk about some of our successes. I'm going to move into a panel discussion with Rayan and then ultimately have Sibusiso showcase some of the work that they've actually done. And I think when you leave this webinar in an hour's time, you're going to say, that's cool. Perfect. So I'm going to kick off with just a little bit of update on how YES is, what YES has achieved over the last 12 months and some of the kind of fundamentals around YES. I think, yes, for many of you who have been on these webinars before, you will know that we have come a journey. We started out as an incentive out of the DTIC. It was a relatively new incentive that came through in 2018. And gradually organizations have worked out how it is that they can integrate YES into their broader offering. We've had some interesting initiatives with everything from BEE initiatives through to grant-funded initiatives, something like this, Youth for Tourism. We really have started to become a key player in the youth employment landscape and ecosystem, and we couldn't do it without you as our stakeholders. So I'm just going to quickly take you through the YES journey, the impact to date, the value proposition, how YES works, and then the benefit of YES. As I say, please, questions, answers, we really do want to engage with you over the next hour. So YES journey. So I think very cool. I always like to start off with a bit of good news. For those of you who have followed the YES journey, you'll know we started in 2018 with the Gazette that came into being, the practice note 2019, and then the clarification statement. YES has historically done about 30 to 32,000 jobs a year. And we're very proud to announce that YES actually had a record-breaking year for the 12 months that has just finished. I think we have now cracked 141,000 jobs since inception. You know what? I feel that's a really important number to be able to look at and unpack, is remembering that YES receives no government funding. This is a purely out of private sector driven initiative. And it really couldn't happen without the input of our corporate partners. So a big thank you to you and everybody else who's been involved with it. I think unpacking that 141,000, we often get this question about the million jobs. I think we have addressed it in a number of previous webinars. The reality is, YES is a private sector-led initiative. We work with we don't receive government funding. We utilize the funding that we do receive from the private sector, and we've been able to arguably be the highest impact youth employment initiative that has been rolled out over the last 5 years, and I would argue probably the most successful of the DTIC incentives. So good news, 141,000 jobs, record year for YES. We look forward to being able to take this on and break another record in the coming 12 months, and we're going to be working with you to be able to do that. Just in terms of some of our, in fact, there we go, 142,916 jobs, 1,700 participating corporate, 7.6 billion in youth salaries. Nice stat here, and you'll be interested to see 53% of YES youth come from grant recipient households. And it tells you, one of the questions we often get asked is absorption. What are the follow through? What is the impact? I think when you look at that number, 53% of YES youth coming from grant recipient households, we deliver real impact. What can we do in terms of a value proposition for YES? So obviously the first one is placement of YES youth for the BBBEE recognition. I think this is the most familiar and probably the biggest portion of what YES does. We've been able to work with organizations to help develop their employment equity and talent pipelines. I think when you consider where YES started, it was very much a transactional type incentive. As your time has gone by, organizations are taking an increasingly strategic view on how they can incorporate YES into their employment equity initiatives, but also their talent pipeline. We had a very good story this week, and I think it just really stands out for me. We had 12 youth on an implementation partner model, and 3 of them were absorbed into permanent employment as software developers. You start to say, okay, great, that's cool. We can really start to be able to see this talent that we invest in moving in and becoming regular contributors inside of our ecosystem and our business. Opportunities to integrate with environmental, social, and governance. I think if you have followed anything in the impact space, the acronym ESG has come through with it dominates all discussions at the moment. Are you able to tackle environmental related issues? Are you able to tackle social related issues, governance, etc.? We feel YES has been able to across a number of those elements. We've done everything from solar projects, water projects, social impact projects. So, when we unpack the Youth for Tourism initiative, that is something that we'll be able to unpack there. And then lastly, don't forget, YES is not only a not-for-profit company, but also a public benefit organization that allows you to gain a Section 18A tax certificate for donations to YES. We utilize these for youth employment programs, the hubs that we work with. So if you are looking to save a little bit on your tax, YES would love to be able to have some discussions with you in that space. Just in terms of the YES value proposition, I think if you've looked at the YES and you've participated for a while, you'll know that there is the ultimate goal is to look at this youth employability down the line, and how do we do that? We've got a number of initiatives that we look at, everything from the YES mobile phone. There'll be some updates around that, which we covered under a separate discussion. But effectively, our YES app suite has matured and has been able to bring in a variety of different things. For those who participated in previous years, you'll be familiar with the CV and the reference letter. But the app has really been able to expand to incorporate things like financial education, entrepreneurship. But probably one of the things that has surprised me with its uptake, but also I think it is tackling such a key issue in South Africa at the moment, is the introduction of the YES Mindful Matters offering. So any youth that is now sitting on the YES platform has access to Mindful Matters. Mindful Matters is a platform that allows for youth to be able to connect with counselors, therapists, either in group or one-on-one sessions, and effectively contribute to supporting the mental health crisis in South Africa, and being able to say, how do we go and support youth that are being exposed to everything from violence, GBV. There are a number of things that simply are incredibly challenging for young South Africans, and we've been able to put in place this YES Mindful Matters initiative, which we are very proud of. And I think there's about 3,000 youth have used it since the start of the year. For us, it's really an empowering value add to the YES value proposition. And please, as I say, if you've got any questions about these, happy to address them in the Q&A facility. Just want to quickly run you through the YES Triple BEE benefit for those of you who do Triple BEE as part of your day-to-day operations. Remember, YES is effectively a formula that was gazetted back in 2018. The formula effectively gives you the higher of 3 calculations that will allow you to get your YES target. Most common of it, 1.5% of NPAT divided by 55. 3 years average NPAT times 1.5% divided by 55,000. Corporate has the opportunity to get 1 BE level up, 1 BE level plus 3 bonus points, and 2 full BE level ups on their scorecard. For those, again, just building on the sub-minimum requirements, I think for those of you who have participated, you'll be familiar with the difference between the generic entities, the QSCs, the EMEs, and the transport sector. I think there's a lot of discussions happening in the transport sector at the moment, and we continue to engage with the stakeholders, including the DTIC, to see how we can integrate YES into future initiatives and how it will align with scorecard requirements going forward. Just a breakdown of some of our YES partners. Obviously, we're very excited to have Sanlam on board. It's great to be able to have the financial services sector putting their hand up and saying they want to be able to participate in projects that work around the youth employment and youth employability. A number of the auto manufacturers are there. And really what I think this shows is Yes has got a very sustainable offering. I think it is one of the more successful public-private partnerships. And really what we've been able to say is this is something that corporate South Africa really does buy into. And we're really proud to be able to put the slide up and showcase that we've been able to bring together private sector and deliver an impact despite things like COVID, despite things like the challenging economic environment. We are really excited about where we have come in terms of this Yes value proposition. Really just looking at this in terms of the Yes placement opportunities, you've obviously got the option to host youth inside of your own organization. So it's a 12-month quality work experience within a corporate. Or we can look at a project like we're about to discuss today, 12-month quality work experience with a Yes host partner. So Yes has identified a number of implementation partners who are able to work with our corporate partners to help them meet their social impact goals, ESG, community goals. We often will have an organization that has got business operations in Atlantis, for instance. And they said, well, we don't have the ability to necessarily absorb these jobs inside of our own organization, but actually we go and we put them inside of other community jobs. We know that we're delivering social impact. We know that we're creating alternative source of income. We're developing new entrepreneurs. So very exciting, 2 options. And happy to engage around blended models which include both internal and external host placement opportunities. There we go, just a breakdown of this. And please note, I'm happy to share the slides and presentations with anybody that would like to have this discussion afterwards. Really just a quick summary: high impact social impact initiative, build a workforce of the future, create entrepreneurs. Now I want to really just stop there for a moment and just highlight increasingly we're seeing this discussion around gig work. And I think when we chat to Ran, we're really going to be able to talk about this, the changing nature of work in South Africa, gig work, entrepreneurs. Big focus for us has been focused on monitoring and evaluation. I think if we look at the M&E function that is taking place now inside of Yes, I think if anyone has heard DT, she heads up the Yes Youth Stream and Monitoring and Evaluation function. I think you'll realize that that has come forward in leaps and bounds. And, I think we really do have a high impact M&E function that is now really starting to mature and offer real value to the clients. We're now looking at things like social labor plans and ESG reporting solutions, and more than happy to take those offline and discuss some of those opportunities as well. I'm going to stop for a moment, catch my breath, and see whether there's any questions in the Q&A facility. And then I'm going to move into the main focus of this webinar, where we'll be looking at the Youth for Tourism initiative. So as I say, if you've got any questions and you'd like me to address them, please drop them into the Q&A facility. Catch my breath for 2 minutes, and then we're going to move on. I think it is very cool that there are 57 people here. I think it's a great opportunity to be able to chat to our stakeholders and just see the engagement that comes with it. I think, with COVID, we had a lot of these Zoom presentations, etc., and you do get some fatigue about it. But it is nice to be able to actually chat to people, see them, and interact with our stakeholders there. No questions that have come through yet, so I'm going to shift there we go. We've got a bunch of questions that have come through. I'm going to quickly answer them. So first question from another Sibo Sisu: do I have the opportunity to get access to this presentation? Absolutely happy to share with this and collaborate. Question from Tabo: how can organizations like Digify Africa collaborate with Yes for tailored digital marketing training programs to better meet the needs of the tourism industry, thereby enhancing graduates' employability? Tabo, I think when you see Sibo Siso's presentation, I think it's really going to be on the money in terms of your question. And I think there will definitely be the opportunity to be able to engage with around content creation, marketing solutions, etc. Can all corporates get involved? Absolutely. I think we have the opportunity to be able to integrate with businesses of all shapes and sizes. We have received funding from, I mean, one of the very cool success stories we actually have is from an international grant funded foundation from a US corporate that's been able to put some money in. We've got everything from exempt micro enterprises, which is any business that's turning over less than 10 million Rand, right up to your big multinational corporates. Perfect. Question from Lebogang. This is it's one that has come up on a regular basis, and I think it actually finds its roots in the Triple BE legislation. The question is, where did the 55,000 Rand that is used in the formula in calculating this headcount, what is it and where did it come from? Effectively, it's a formula that is applied through a couple of the different BE elements, but 55,000 effectively was agreed the formula was agreed by the stakeholders, including the DTIC, where they would be, it effectively works out the annual salary of the youth plus the monitoring and evaluation fee. And so if you're ever trying to do a kind of back of a matchbox calculation around what a YES program will cost you, you can work on the number of youth times 55,000, and it'll give you a base to give you a sense of what your cost will be for the year. Bianca's got a question around, this is the first time we're engaging in the YES program. What's expected from the employer where the phones and apps are concerned? Bianca, it's quite a broad question, and I think there's quite a lot that needs to be unpacked. So maybe what I'm going to do is just give you a very high level a response here, and then I'm going to I'll take that discussion offline. But I mean, effectively, the purpose behind the YES mobile phones and the apps is to allow YES to conduct its monitoring and evaluation function. Are the youth being, a simple thing like, are the youth able to actually attending work? Are they being paid? So YES, constantly phoning all of the youth that are participating and trying to understand where is it that what is their work experience like? We might, for instance, uncover that a youth is a participant in the YES program, but not being paid. They don't have a supervisor. The purpose of the YES phones is to allow us to connect with them, but also to be able to deliver digital content. So that'll be things like your apps, your mental wellness offering, your digital learnings around SMEs and entrepreneurship. So quite a lot of there's multi-functions there. There's some quite a big developments. And so I would recommend that if you just look and follow the YES social media and the YES content platforms such as the newsletters, you will also be able to get some further information. I'm actually just going to plot my contact details into the chat, and you can mail me and I will point you in the right direction if you want to chat to anybody about these. Market YES for youth. There we go. Just going to have a look here. There's a couple of overlapping questions. Perfect. A couple of people have mentioned some of the projects that they're working on. I will allow, if we have some time, we'll try and unpack how you can work with YES as an implementation partner. But I am cognizant of time, so I'd like to just move into the main thrust of our presentation for today. Let me just make sure I'm picking the right one here. So I think what we'd like to really unpack today is an initiative called Youth for Tourism. And I think this is quite cool on so many levels. I think if you look at South Africa, one of the things that you are able to do is tourism as a sector has been something that South Africa can excel at. We have beautiful tourism destinations. We are a destination of choice for a lot of people when you look at for business tourism. We've got really interesting things that we're doing. People love coming to South Africa. Interesting thing that a lot of people don't know is that the tourism sector is actually bigger than both the manufacturing and agri sectors. So when you're looking at South Africa's present overall GDP contribution, tourism is really a significant player that is there at the moment. But also, if we can just get back to pre-COVID levels, we will add another 1 million jobs to the economy. What's nice about tourism, relatively low barriers to entry, but also the ability to go, and if you look at the tourism that takes place in the Kruger, that takes place in Eastern Cape, there's the opportunity to be able to engage with people around roles that go from everything from working lodges to ecotourism, anti-rhino poaching, etc., etc. So there's quite a lot there. And we started this engagement with the team from Sanlam probably 18 months ago around how we'd be able to partner on this. And I'll shortly bring in Rand to talk a little bit about this. But effectively, we conceptualized this idea of youth for tourism, where we're going to capacitate the tourism sector in South Africa. To date, we have created over 1,000 jobs in the sector. And more importantly, we've pushed over 60 million Rand into the tourism sector. I think if you look at the curve in terms of employment opportunities in the tourism sector, it is on the up. It is something that we're riding a crest of a wave, and we are incredibly excited about that. I'm going to stop there. I think you've all heard my voice for exactly 23 minutes. It's quite, it might be becoming a little bit monotonous now. So I'm going to actually be able to take this opportunity to bring my guests in. My first guest is Rand from Sanlam. Rand, maybe just a quick introduction, who you are and where you fit in the Sanlam ecosystem, and then we'll move into discussions around youth for tourism.
Great, thanks, Mark. And thank you for the invitation, and good morning, everybody online. It's great to see the number of individuals actually that joined the webinar. And it's so reassuring to see that there's people that are like-minded, also interested in specifically creating jobs for youth. So my name is Rand Cedres. I'm the Chief Transformation Officer for the Sanlam Group. And one of the key things for Sanlam is about growing the economy. An economy that is growing means the relevancy of the financial sector is actually relevant. And so in essence, at the end of the day, it's about doing good business by applying back into the economy, by creation of jobs for youth, and at the same time, obviously, allowing us as an organization to be relevant with our products and solutions.
Rand, I mean, the obvious question is why tourism? I mean, Sanlam is a financial services business. It is, we associate it with money, we associate it with insurance, asset management, finance jobs. I mean, what's the appeal about tourism, and how does tourism fit into the broader Sanlam ecosystem?
Well, I think you said it. I mean, tourism is big. It's quite a big sector. It's also a sector that impacts on every other sector if you think about it. So it's a catalytic sector. And if you reflect back on what I talked about, growth in the economy, you need to actually target those sectors that are going to create that ripple effect that spills over to other sectors. You've said it as well. I mean, South Africa has got a wealth of beautiful, iconic tourism destinations and opportunities for people to come and visit. But tourism also allows us as South Africans to create pride and actually, immerse ourselves into wanting to encourage others to come and experience this amazing country that we live in. And so in essence, that for us, that was just, the perfect ingredients to determine where, from a youth for tourism perspective, we could actually add value. And I said it before, the fact is that if the economy grows and if the tourism sector is a catalytic opportunity to do that, I'm not saying it's the only sector. I'm saying we're seeing the opportunity of it creating that ripple effect to other sectors. In itself, the economy then starts growing. However, it also requires more than one organization. And we as Sanlam, when we embarked on this journey with the YES team, we said that, to do this, we cannot do this on our own. We have to encourage others to come along with us. And, the whole crowding concept came to life. And this program is testament itself, where competitors, other industry players that is not related to the tourism sector at all, have all seen the opportunity of crowding in enough effort and energy to unlock the potential within the tourism sector. However, using gig capability, and I need to emphasize this, the opportunity here is about the skill capability that we actually providing these youth has to be relevant within the tourism sector, but also any other sector. And we felt that gigs skills was the perfect place to start in integrating youth into the tourism sector.
I just want to kind of build on this gig concept because it's actually a really interesting discussion. We have it internally. I know we have it in our stakeholder meetings as well. The nature of work is changing. We typically think of work as get 12 months experience, or you do your learnership and then you move into a contract position, or maybe if you're lucky, you get a permanent position. But the reality is the nature of work is changing in South Africa. And increasingly, we're seeing this demand for gig type environments. Now, yes, it's actually quite an interesting discussion because if you look at the typical BEE environment, we are looking at everything from, we want permanent absorption. We want these youth that are finishing 12 months and moving into a permanent job. But the actual reality is the type of jobs that we are creating, that are effectively being created in the real economy are gig in nature or SME in nature. And Rand, maybe just a quick question to you. I mean, why do SMEs matter and why do the gigs matter in South African context?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think SMM is a very critical sector for any economy. In fact, on a global level, it's the sector that actually creates the most jobs. And this is in other economies that I've seen. In South Africa, it's actually not like that, and we needing to change that perspective, because we rely still on big corporates to create the volumes of jobs. Big corporates are not going to create 11 million jobs for our youth out there. So we have to take that SMME sector and actually birth it at the same time as we're growing the skill capability of our youth. And then, corporates like ourselves, that if you just look at BEE and you look at the scorecard specifically around enterprise and supply development, I think it's the crowning in component where I reference the fact that if we can all work in the same direction around skilling up the youth, but also growing our SMME sector, we then create that sweet spot where we're able to merge these things together. And so in essence, that SMME sector is as important as creating jobs for youth itself. So we at Sanlam, have placed a lot of emphasis on the creation of gig skills for the youth, but with the intent of helping them to start their micro enterprising initiatives. I think that's the end goal for us, is the more micro enterprises we can start, we can help grow. They can become small businesses. They can start employing people of their own. And ultimately, that's how we're going to tackle unemployment in the country, in our opinion, as the Sanlam Group.
You mentioned ESD, which is the Enterprise and Supply Development contribution to the BEE scorecard. And Sanlam have done some very interesting research. I think it's called the Sanlam Gauge. Is that right, Ryan?
That's correct. Sanlam Concentrates Gauge, yeah.
Yeah, and it's an annual piece of research, and I think for anybody who's interested in the BEE environment, I think it is a must see in terms of how do you go and how different sectors are responding to the different elements on the BEE scorecard. So if any of you haven't seen it, go out there and have a look for it. It's very easy to find in terms of quick Google search, but I really think you'll find it's a valuable piece of research when you look at that from a transformation perspective. Rand, maybe just last comment. I mean, before we maybe unpack some of the gig work that's taking place in the environment at the moment, what we're really wanting to have is some sort of call to action to say, we've got 12 months of experience on the Youth for Tourism project. We like to think we've done a good job. But if you had to put out a message to the other corporates, especially the corporates that have participated, but the corporates that are sitting on the fence considering the opportunity to partner with YES and Sanlam around the Youth for Tourism initiative, any message for them?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think the message we as Sanlam would like to peel, and we've had this message at the very beginning when we launched this initiative with the YES team, is that, in order to actually bring in more youth into employability, it requires us to actually collectively look at our efforts instead of us all working in our own silos. And this particular piece of work there shouldn't be competition about it. It should be about the end goal, which is eradicating unemployment in this country. And to do that requires every single one of us, as corporate SA in particular, to rally all in the same direction, But I think here is the difference, though, is that how do you take these youth that you've skilled up and you actually utilize them into your entity? Because then you start seeing the value of it. You don't just see it as, monies that is given to Yes, and Yes go and, train up these individuals who are with host partners. You actually utilize. So your role changes. Your role changes from the host of as an employer to the creator of access to market. And I think that's the difference here with this particular concept, is that if you think of events in any organization, we all run major events, some little small events as well. And the eventing component allows all of us to take the opportunity of utilizing these youth into the system, and they really have learned some amazing skills. You'll see when Sibusiso shows the slide deck and some of the videos, these young people are so talented, and they just need a break. They just need an opportunity. And we've seen and used them, and we've kept on going back. And that's also the way that we can sweat the kind of investments that you're making into these youth. And so it doesn't become this sideline social initiative. It becomes embedded into your value system. They become valuable partners into your organization and become part of your procurement value chain at the end of the day as well. So I'd appeal to join, even if we piqued your interest, ask, connect up with us. It doesn't have to be, exactly the way Sanlam has done it. I think the team is very open to try and massage and create a value proposition for you as a corporate that will make sense for you in the boundaries of what Youth for Tourism is trying to achieve at the end of the day. So, Mark, I think that would be my appeal.
Excellent. Thanks, Ryan. And yeah, so just to give you some indication of some of the partners that have come on board and have been involved in this, we've got everything. It was quite an interesting comment from Ryan, is that it wasn't necessarily straight out of the tourism sector. We've got organizations like Mercedes-Benz South Africa. I think they've now just actually come back for a second bite of the cherry, if you like. They've funded over 350 youth now. We've got the organizations like Hollard, Pizza Hut South Africa, Fairtree as an asset management business, and many others that have come on board to be able to participate and say, yes, we've been able to contribute. We like this idea. We buy into it. This is not just a case of us going through a triple BE level up exercise. This is a crowding in, and it's nice to be able to de-risk a project by bringing in multiple partners into it. What I want to do before I hand over to Sibusiso, and I think this is the creative and the exciting part to this project, is one of the things Ryan mentions there is the content creation element, the ability to get into the supply chains of an organization like Sanlam. And one of the big parts of what we've been able to put together here, utilizing the Youth Content Collective, is the training of young creatives who have been able to do things like content creation, so videography, photography. They've been able to go out and actually go and create content that is not just there promoting South Africa as an investment destination, but be able to go and support the funding partners, whether it's Sanlam as an event at one of their sustainability conferences, whether it's Fairtree at one of the events that they've put together. With Hollard, they are busy doing internal marketing to be able to support these organizations. There's a lot of work that goes into, but effectively what, the biggest challenge you have as a young creative is the ability to break into these organizations, get the work opportunity, and be able to actually say, I have a work portfolio that says I did work for Sanlam, I did work for Mercedes-Benz, I did work for Hollard, and that's a game changer for a number of these youth. So in terms of how you can participate in this project, we've got a couple of initiatives. We have the opportunity to participate for triple BEE funding if you're looking to support youth from as part of your BEE strategy. We've got an opportunity to do non-BEE funding where you're able to go and just simply create youth jobs, and yes, we'll work with their host partners around it. We have some gig funding. What's quite nice about this is, in the last call it 30 days, and Sibusiso and I can work out exactly what the number is in a moment. But over 1.5 million rand has gone to these young creatives through through gig funding. I think there's nearly 200 gigs that have been done. But these youth are working on everything from SMEs in the tourism sector all the way up to work for Sanlam. So the opportunity to utilize these creators that have been trained, build them into your supply chain, give them an opportunity, you will be blown away by the quality of the work that they do. Rand, I'm going to pause with you for a moment and move over to Sibusiso, but thank you very much for your contribution to this project to date. I think you've taken a leap of faith that we've really appreciated from a YES side, but also to the 1,000 youth that have been catalyzed over the last 12 months. Sibusiso, I'm going to bring you in here. I love the Youth Content Collective. I think it is just something a little bit different. I think the stories, the talent that is there, I think we just love the fact that there's creativity out there. Tell us a little bit, who are you? What do you do? And what is the Youth Content Collective?
Awesome, thank you. I'm going to share my screen just after this. So my name is Buso Zulu. I'm the programs coordinator at the Youth Content Collective. And the Youth Content Collective is a development program powered by YES. And what we do is we train young people on content creation. This is photography, videography, illustration, and design, helping them gain these skills so they can thrive in the gig market. So we work with, we do this by working on corporate gigs, giving them a hands-on experience. And this helps them build a strong portfolio so they can be part of the gig economy. And what's amazing is that while they're in the program learning and getting the skill to be great, they also earn. And this helps them buy equipment and gives them the confidence of starting a business after. And that's what we encourage the most in the Youth Content Collective. I have prepared a young presentation that I would like to share. If you can just allow me to share it.
While Sibusiso's prezo is just coming up, I'm just going to give him a moment to bring that up. As I please keep the questions coming. It's awesome to be able to look at the chat facility and just see these the questions coming through and some of the comments, etc. There we go. I see the presentation's up. So Sibusiso, back to you.
Awesome. You guys can see my prezo.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. So after 2 years of working in the program and managing gigs and helping a lot of young people get into the gig economy, start their business in the creative space. And with over 200 alumni as YCC, we are also honored and given the opportunity to be part of the Youth for Tourism program, which has been amazing. And the Youth for Tourism program has been amazing because it empowers not only the youth but also the tourism businesses. So what we do is we create meaningful, tailor-made content for tourism businesses, small businesses, showcasing their different destinations and services to both local and international audience. And what sets this program apart is that all that content is free of charge to the tourism businesses. And also, moreover, the program, the youth that are involved in the program get compensated or money from the program funding in additional to their monthly stipend. And this also helps them buy equipment and start their own businesses. And the ultimate goal is to create a big impact that does not only benefit the tourism businesses and the youth, but also just everyone prospers in the country as well. And to date, we have made some impressive achievements with around 250 gigs to date, and the youth earning about 1.5 million in revenue. But one of the coolest things that the program has done is that we have the opportunity to work with different businesses and organizations. For example, we've done some design work for the World Tourism Association for Culture and Heritage, which was an amazing opportunity for our members. It's great for their portfolios, but also we worked with small businesses like the Bicycle Bandits, Yebo Baba, and this gig work has a meaningful difference in the businesses, but also within the members as well, and our local communities. And one of the things I really appreciate about the program is that seeing the growth of our members and the quality of work that they've created. So we've gotten a lot of client appreciation emails, and they just praise the quality of the work and how the members handle themselves. The professionalism and the execution has been amazing. And this just gives us more confidence that when they go into business as entrepreneurs, they'll be able to grow their businesses and employ more people. And we've created a video with the youth sharing about their experiences, as well as also some beneficiaries, some tourism businesses beneficiaries also sharing how they benefited from the program. I'm gonna play the video now.
So the quality and effectiveness of the content was highly exceptional. We got the final product, we posted it, our community was very happy. Some of the change makers that we basically partner and highlight were blown away by the quality. It was amazing.
While I was in the program, getting to learn more about the other things that they offer, I found myself drawn towards videography. And then I decided to learn more about videos and how I can up my skill in the videography world.
We had some videos and we had some pictures, and we used those to post on our social media. It helped us grow our Instagram following, but it also helped us reach out to a new demographic and show how interactive our events are.
I'm happy to say that I have registered my very own business. I managed to go to places I never thought I'd go to. I found myself buying my very first prime lens, 50 mil, and I was very excited about that purchase.
It has really helped me a lot. It has helped me put my work out there. I'm able to say, no, you can look at this page, you'll find my work. You can look at that page, you'll find my work.
I'd like to send a shout out to Sanlam and Yes for this awesome program. From the Pottermore team, we'd just like to extend our deepest gratitude. Thank you to the Youth for Tourism Initiative for helping us reach a wider audience and just highlighting the amazing change working activity that's happening in our community.
Just a huge shout out and a big thank you to Sanlam, Yes, for putting together this big program, helping us as creatives to put our work out there, giving us the platform to gain experience. A big shout out.
So the quality and effectiveness of the content was high.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's also shows you the quality of work our members can create. And also they share their amazing experiences, not only being able to see these beautiful places and these beautiful offerings that the tourism industry in our country have, but also they also benefiting. What I really love and like to highlight about the program is that it has this snowball effect where the tourism businesses benefit and eventually grow and employ more people. But not only that, the youth themselves, they become entrepreneurs, they have an opportunity to earn and also eventually employ more people. That's what I love. It's just a beautiful ecosystem. So this is some examples of some work we've done some work for the 94.7 Right Joburg. Gomora Festival, a carnival festival based in Alexandra, Melville Copies, and there's so many of them in different areas of the tourism industry as well. So I also just want to highlight two of the events we've done and share the impact it had. So this one was for Tora Travel Therapy. It's a client that provides therapeutic travel experiences. They have different packages for their clients, but they needed a good or an updated brand identity to be competitive in the market. They sent us a brief. Our members went through it, and we developed a brand identity. This identity was used both on the website, on the social media, and also created a brochure that they can use to market themselves. But what was really amazing was that the client still stayed very connected with the members, and they informed us that they were nominated for Gauteng Tourism Awards. And also another thing that we're not aware of that was happening within the program, from the connection with other businesses that we do content for, that we're able to facilitate a collaboration between them. For example, after we did our work for Sandton Tourism and Business Association, we were able to also connect Tora Travel with them, so they can also benefit from being part of that association. And when I learned of this, because it wasn't something we're doing intentionally, but it's also one of the most beautiful things that happened from the program. And yeah, also Tora Travel has been able to use the content to market themselves, and they're very happy with what they've seen. And they also contact the youth directly for continued support when they do need more content. Another highlight gig that we want to highlight is Victoria Yards. Victoria Yards is a vibrant hub for artists, food enthusiasts, and they also have a lot of small tourism businesses within the development. They have a lot of businesses and a lot of things to showcase within the development, and we are given a task to showcase some of the small businesses within Victoria Yards through video and photography. And this was done and used to promote on their website and social media. But also we had a focus on their market days. They have these beautiful big markets where even people from the community and small businesses in the community come and showcase their offerings. The markets before COVID were attracting 3,000 people, and after COVID it died a bit down and attracting like 1,000 and up. And now we're happy to hear that Victoria is getting back to those numbers. And they were recently named the 7th best flea market in the world by TripAdvisor. And it's beautiful to see just how our contribution also assisted in them getting back to that. But what's amazing is that 2 of the members who worked on the gig are now on a full-time freelance gig with some businesses based at Forbes, and every month they create content for them. And now these businesses are paying them directly. This helps them with their businesses and the growth of their own businesses as members who are part of the program. And that just goes back to speaking to that snowball effect, where when everybody gets involved, the growth, you can see it spread through from the tourism businesses to the youth and just the community around the Victoria Yards neighborhood, which is amazing. And then, yeah, we've just been blessed to be part of this program, not only because we get to see these amazing tourism spaces, but I think it's also fulfilling that to see the impact we have on these businesses, and also to see our youth grow and be part of the creative industry. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. I really, I mean, this project just gives me kind of good vibes, if you like. It just feels like we managed to do something very unique and very special. And I think it's been great to be able to partner with the Youth Content Collective, corporate partners such as Sanlam, Mercedes, Fairtree, etc. But also to be able to partner with the other Yes implementation partners that are doing quite a lot of support work inside of the tourism ecosystem. We've got the likes of Conservation South Africa, doing work in Eastern Cape. They work in the Cricket Canyons area. Partners like Africa Foundation that are doing a lot of work in being able to stimulate the tourism ecosystem with the partnership with And Beyond. So really, it's just held together really nicely as a project. And we really do extend our appreciation to everybody who's been able to participate. And I think it's cool to be able to see it come alive in imagery. I think when you do an impact project and you can actually showcase the stories and the youth and the actual, that feel-good factor of what the project has delivered, I think is awesome. I'm cognizant of time. We've got about 8 minutes left. I'm going to throw open the Q&A to answer a couple of the questions. I see there's some more questions that have come in subsequent to the two presentations. So I'm going to give a moment to just work my way through the questions. I'll try and answer them. A couple of them are overlapping, so I'll try and give a generic answer. But as I say, please utilize this opportunity. We want to engage with you. I think the primary question that's going to come out of this is how do we get involved? How do we participate? So first one, if you're a corporate and you're looking to participate for your BEE purposes, give us a shout out. We have a very good system in terms of onboarding you as part of your BBBE strategy. If you're a corporate and you want to be able to work with the Youth Content Collective and just give these youth an opportunity, we've obviously seeded it with some initial work and initial opportunities for these youth. But as Sibusiso shown you, you've got this world of talent out there. There's so many opportunities to be able to bring new people in. I think Ryan touched on it. Your supply chain, you're always looking to diversify. There are these creatives out there that are doing amazing work. And the fact that they can get the verification from a Sanlam or from a Hollard, it means these guys can compete with the best in the industry. So I really do urge you to make use of them. Sibusiso, will you just post your email address into the chat that people can grab from it if they'd like to maybe reach out to you to discuss a brief? I've got my email in there as well and happy to partner. We've got if you're an SME and you're looking to access some of the funded content development, you can also reach out to Sibusiso. It was actually quite fun. We were looking at this discussion. Originally, we actually had this really nice big pot of money to go and create a whole lot of the content. And a lot of the small businesses were turning around and saying, if it's for free, what's the catch? So we took a couple of weeks to get going, but we got it going, and it's at 250 gigs. This is a really talented young team of South Africans. And really, we do want to be able to go and work it out. This is a project that is not intended to be a one-year initiative. We've already started planning for the new cohorts. Looking at quite a few of the questions, there's questions coming through around how people can be a Yes implementation partner, how they can reach into strategic partnerships around this, training of youth, etc. More than happy to have that discussion. I think we've got limited time here, and I think each of them's got their own unique elements and questions to it. But my starting point is pop me a mail on the Market Yes for Youth address. If I can't help you, I'll try and point you into the right direction. I think really what we wanted to get across today was the collaborative nature of this project. Just in terms of some of how we could go and work as a hosting environment, happy to discuss that. We have youth that are hosted at we've got 1,027 youth, I think it is at the moment, hosted across a number of different environments. Happy to work with you. Lebogang, question around the phones. Is there plans to get a quicker and faster phone? Definitely, there are some very exciting initiatives happening there. I say we really are investing in the digital delivery pathways. We hear the feedback, we take the feedback, we try and kind of meet people in the middle, but there's some very cool initiatives happening there. Question, how did Yes promote the Youth for Tourism initiative to unemployed youth? Where do they need to go and apply for it? So typically recruitment takes place via the Yes implementation partners. The primary source of recruitment comes from the sayouth.mobi platform. So for those who are familiar with it, that's a joint venture or initiative with the presidency, Harambee Yes, where you're able to go and register your CV and have access to opportunities for everything from Yes programs through to other youth employment initiatives. So go and check out the sayouth.mobi platform, and there will be opportunities that come through from that perspective. Is there a next phase to this initiative? There definitely is a next phase to this initiative. We're actually looking at the entrepreneurship related elements and how do we go and build on this. We certainly don't want to start a project and then ultimately it fizzles out. What we really think has got momentum behind is the fact that there are multiple partners involved, and we are growing and very excited about what we've managed to deliver to date. Is Youth for Tourism available to youth across all provinces? Absolutely. I think that this is one of the things about South Africa, is we've got such a diverse range of opportunities. I think Sibusiso has seen plenty of the country in the last 12 months between him and the Cell Leader teams. We've got everything from the Eastern Cape, Western Cape, a little bit in KZN. We've got KwaZulu-Natal, and then up toward the Kruger Canyons cluster. So definitely opportunities across the country, and always looking to find high impact partnerships that we can lean on and build on. I am cognizant of time. We have exactly 2 minutes left if I stick to my schedule exactly. Rand, I'm going to throw one last question to you. Do you have any closing comments for the audience?
I'm just going to appeal again. We can only make a dent in that 11 million if we encourage more corporates to come along with us. We're not short of youth. There's lots of youth out there. We just need to have corporates come along with us, and be open to play a role in seriously making a dent into this unemployment challenge and within South Africa. That's my last appeal, Mark.
Thanks, Ryan. And again, I just reiterate from a Yes perspective, but also to the other stakeholders, it's, when you embark on a project like this, you do need somebody who's going to take a leap. And I think you and your team have walked a journey with us. It's been an interesting couple of years, but you have walked a journey with us. And you've built something very cool. And I think it is something that we can all be proud of when we look at the impact that has been delivered. Sibusiso, I just really want to extend a thank you to you and the Youth Content Collective team. You guys have run on the ground. You have showcased talent. You have unlocked potential. I think when we look at phase 2 of this and the opportunity for gig work for the SMEs, I think we're going to look back on this project and say we did something that we can all be proud of. And I think it plays a part. One of the biggest problems we have in South Africa is that we want to grow the economic pie. And the economic pie works when people come into South Africa and see the best of South Africa. And really, I think you and your team have done an amazing job in showcasing the talent and the potential, but also South Africa's investment destination and tourism destination. So big thank you to the work that you and your team do on the floor. I'm going to say we have exactly reached our deadline, 11 o'clock. I'm aware that time is the most valuable commodity that any of us have at the moment. So I'm going to extend a big thank you to all of the delegates who have attended. As discussed, we will share these presentations with everybody that has RSVP'd. And as I say, this is a discussion. This is not a once-off. Drop us a line. Tell us how we can partner with you. You have my email address. You have Sibusiso's email address. Let's go and rock tourism in South Africa for another 12 months. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Cheers.